Electricast.
This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Whether you're selling a little or a lot, Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. From the launch your online shop stage, all the way to the we just hit 1 million orders stage. No matter what stage you're in, Shopify's there to help you grow. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/special offer, all lowercase. That's shopify.com/special offer.
Why wait to see if you'll get something you like this Valentine's Day when you can go to BlueNile.com and find something you'll love? Whether you're looking to treat yourself to a little winter sparkle or show a galentine how much you appreciate them, Blue Nile offers a wide selection of high-quality designs, expert guidance, and free 30-day returns for the ultimate peace of mind. You can even design your own jewelry. Right now, save up to 50% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
On this episode of Missing the Point, it's the Boston Celtics trade deadline special. While we know Danny Ainge most likely won't make any moves of substance at the 2021 NBA trade deadline, we look at the latest rumors connecting the Celtics to players like the Orlando Magic's forward Aaron Gordon and Evan Fournier, and Sacramento Kings forward Harrison Barnes. Will the Celtics be able to improve their roster as we head full steam towards the NBA playoffs, or will they tread water and try to sneak into the playoff with a fringe roster? And hey, why are we so protective of Brad Stevens? This is Missing the Point, episode 47. But it's all relative.
Welcome into another edition of Missing the Point. I am your host, Michael Marcangelo, joined alongside by the real BK Bob Kelly and the Hollywood Wale Rayshawn Buchanan. And today we are talking about the Boston Celtics trade rumors and the absolute shit missile of a season that they are in the midst of so far. So just to paint the picture, as it currently stands right now, they sit at the number 8 seed in the Eastern Conference. So I'm going to open it up to Rayshawn first. Rayshawn has been equally as, let's say, I'd say some people would say negative. I would say, he's been very impartial about the Celtics since their playoff disaster last year. Rayshawn, 21-22, as negative as you were about them and addressing the flaws that you knew that they had, are they worse than you thought they would be?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, especially when they started, 7-3 to start the year. And, I felt like we were feeling pretty good. Bobby's getting 1 million likes on Instagram about his Paint Pritchard post. You can go back and check that on our Instagram page and, Missing the Point. But it was unbelievable how much things have changed drastically since then. So whether it's, Tatum getting COVID, Kemba not starting out the season, and then Kemba coming back but not playing back-to-backs. Brad Stevens essentially, having like the monster steal his coaching ability all of a sudden. So we didn't get that as a Space Jam reference. But it was just like, it's unbelievable how much they have fallen from, really from prominence. And I mean, I'm at a point now where I'm just ready for a change. So if it's a major shakeup, I'm here for it. And this is a quote unquote hot take, but I'm ready to trade whoever. And I have not said that in a while. I'm ready to trade whoever wants to be here and actually play hard and play with it and do what's required, to do what's required of being in this city. We got to have people that take it seriously. And right now, I don't know if there's anybody on this team that takes it seriously and really wants to win. So, Bobby, what about you, brother?
Yeah, no, I completely agree, man. So when you say that major shakeup, I've been thinking about this, and the major shakeup that needs to happen is this reminds me a lot of, I forget, it was a 2011, 2012 Red Sox, where they had all the talent in the world, man. They had everything, but something was wrong. You know what I mean? It was just off. There was things just not going right with the team. They were mismanaged. There's so many things.
And Bobby Valentine as a manager.
Well, yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it.
But we had to trade serious talent just because we needed to shake things up. You know what I mean? We needed to get big names out of this roster and big guys out of here just to change the chemistry, just to change what's happening. And I really do feel like we're getting to that point because I'm being honest, I can't even watch the Celtics anymore. I legitimately can't watch this team anymore. They're so frustrating to watch. And you guys know me, I'm a basketball purist. I love watching good basketball. I literally sat down and watched college basketball for the last 72 straight hours. But I can't watch a single Celtics game. That's how bad it's gotten. It's brutal, man. It's so bad.
So I think when you think about it, right, because Ray, you mentioned that they did have a really good start. They have since January. January was the last calendar month that they posted a winning record, and they were 7-6. In February, they were 7-9. Currently, they're 4-5. Right? What is it? Because if you're asking me, just as a basketball fan with eyes, they're not listening to Brad. Because I want to say that, yeah, Brad is part of the problem, and sure he is. So is Danny. But at the end of the day, don't you have to have pride as a player, as a professional basketball player, to go out there and to show up in the fourth quarter of games?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Like we just said, see, we said we were going to agree. We just said the same exact thing. That's perfect. No, what it comes down to is like what we talked about with Dan Shaughnessy, either in a future or past episode. Not sure what it'll be at this point, but
good recall.
But so, you know what I mean? Like it's just the softness of this team. You know what I mean? Like that's the big thing that stands out about this team is how soft they are. And when it comes down to it, when it's nut checking time, their nuts absolutely vanish. And when it comes to the Brad thing is like, they're not, I don't even know if it's they're not listening to Brad or if it's that they don't. Yeah, I guess it's not they're listening to Brad. I was going to say they don't have faith in what he's saying anymore, but that's the same thing. So, yeah, no, they're not listening to him whatsoever. I mean, you really think Brad's telling Tatum and Brown to go out there and just take turns and play hero ball?
Okay, so that's what bothers me, that there's fans out here that really believe that shit. That's what really grinds, that really grinds my gears. That's what gets me upset.
All right,
you think he's out here saying this shit? It's like, yeah, it's like, come on, right? Nah, no, but it's like, come on. Finally I get a reference. I know. Don't worry, Craig. I'll get better with Futurama.
Right, man. You have been on fire with references so far.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Like I can't even. Yeah, I can't even put words in, and I can't even give full sentences at this moment. But I want to make a point to. I think Mike brought it up, but if he didn't, whatever, I'll bring it up now. This team kind of reminds me of the early Pearson Walker days. So obviously that team that team was like 36-46 in the 2001 season. Then again, Pierce did get stabbed, and he came back a few games later, which is insane. So once again, get tougher. This man got stabbed 9 times and still averaged 25 a game. These guys get a sprained wrist and they're out for 6 weeks, but don't get me started. So that's a whole other conversation for another day. But that was a team that was kind of climbing. And then, they got the 01-02 season. I think they go 49-33. They make the conference finals. They go through Philadelphia. They beat Detroit, 2 teams that won 50 games that year. But then Danny Ainge comes in like a year or 2 later, and the first thing he does is ships out Antoine. And I remember like, man, what are you doing? You should
to Dallas, right? Dallas?
Yeah. Or to Atlanta. But yeah, it might have been
it was Dallas for Rafe. Yeah, for Rafe.
Rafe LaFrance.
Yeah.
Rafe, oh God, I'm not going to go down, but yeah, that was so bad. But I remember being pissed, and I'm just like, but you know what, Danny? I remember being pissed at that, but I want you to give back to that moment. I want you to have balls to say, we're going to trade the second best player. So if that's the case, you have to trade Jaylen Brown. Hey, then do it.
Don't do it for Rafe LaFrance.
No. Of course, not for Rafe LaFrance, obviously. But I'm saying, like, if we talked about it off the air. If that takes you getting a John Collins back, and you get Bogdanovich, or you trade to get Vucevic and Aaron Gordon, then who knows? Maybe you have to do that. But something has to happen. And once again, I know that sounds off the wall. So for those that when you listen to this and you think I'm out of my mind, that's fine. We thank you for listening. But it's just like something, like I said, something has to happen. Like I said, this really reminds me of that early 2000 Celtics team that had 2 All-Stars, that had decent talent around them. Kenny Walker. So I'm still thinking old school. Kenny Anderson, what was our quote unquote Kemba, an older guy, who was basically on his last leg, so to speak. And, they didn't have much around them, and they found a way to get to the conference finals. But like I said, a shakeup has to happen. And if it doesn't happen, some heads need to roll.
Is Aaron Gordon enough? So the Celtics right now, they look like they are the front runners in the Gordon sweepstakes. I'm just quoting an article from CBSSports.com, not a sponsor or an affiliate. A source with knowledge of the Gordon talks said the Celtics have indeed put 2 first-round picks on the table, and that the framework of the deal would also include Magic guard and free agent Evan Fournier heading to the Celtics. This means that Marcus Smart is gone too. If that trade right now, if you can do it, do you do it?
Yes, but bless you. I know I'm allergic to the bullshit too. Yeah. But no, it's amazing. Yeah, I would do it. The only thing I'm nervous about, maybe clearly Bobby's nervous too because he just sneezed on the show. But maybe Fournier at 17 for the rest of the year, and he's a free agent, and then Aaron Gordon is at 18 mil a year for the next 2 years. So I guess you're taking off Fournier just to get Gordon in that regard. But my thing is, do you envision Fournier to be a long-term part of the team? If so, then yeah, you definitely do it. But at this moment, I know Danny's all about control. And if he can get somebody that's controlled for at least another year or two and, get them into the program, get them into the system and kind of see how things are ran in Boston, then we'll see. But I mean, just from a talent standpoint, yeah, I mean, I would look at the Fournier deal. And I have to say this to the Boston Celtics faithful, but I'm a part of it. I love each and every one of you. Well, not all of you, because some of you on Twitter are absolutely ridiculous. But once again, we still thank you for listening, though, and retweeting at us at _MCP. But it's crazy how people don't want to let go of Marcus Smart. And once again, I get it. He should embody what this city is about. Playing hard, playing good defense, and really just a stand-up guy. He's our Pedroia. Pedroia was like that for a number of years. Someone that was hard-nosed, hardcore, was never the best player on the Red Sox, but someone you're like, okay, you look at that, if you ask somebody who embodies the Red Sox, who embodies Boston, and it's like, oh, number 15 for Joya. Like that is the guy. When you look at the Celtics, number 36, Marcus Smart, that's who embodies Boston. But now when you're 0 for 21 in clutch time from 3-pointer and you're still shooting it like you're Reggie Miller in clutch time, it's a joke. And it's sad. So at this moment in time, it may be time for him to go and some other people to go. So Romeo Layford can go. Jeff T, he came off a great game last night against Memphis. As we're recording this on a Tuesday night, he had a great game in Memphis. He was phenomenal. But once again, his ass can go too. Anybody that's really not named Jaylen Brown or Jason said, even though I talked about Jaylen Brown can go, like if you have to keep those two, no one's going to say no to keeping those two, but everybody else can go. Danny could go, Will Grossbeck can go, Steve Hallyuka could go,
Mike Gorman can go.
Mike Gorman could go. I'm joking. No, Mike Gorman. Mike Gorman, you're great. Got it. No, you're great, Mike Gorman. I'm sorry, you're the best. But
got it, man. I could never live without the got it. Come on.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Whoever's associated can go. Austin Age, everybody can go. See you later. I'm done. Over it. I'm sick.
When it comes to Aaron Gordon, okay, so I'm not against trading Marcus Smart. I'm really not. Aaron Gordon and Fournier are not the right guys to be trading Marcus Smart for, okay? If the Celtics are going to make a move to me, it needs to be for a scorer. It needs to be for a wing. Someone that can score and play defense. And I just don't see Aaron Gordon being that dynamic scorer. He's good, but I don't think he's good enough to give up the intangibles that Smart brings you. I think that there's I would go the route that you said. Listen, like I said, I'm not against trading Marcus Smart. All right. The over 21s, I'm all set with that. I really am. But Aaron Gordon's going to shoot 2 for 10 from inside the arc. So it's like, what are we really trading?
He shoots 40% from 3. He shoots 40% from 3.
He shoots 40% from 3 now since when?
Yes. All right. Check his numbers.
I didn't know that.
14 points, 7 rebounds, 40% from 3. Bring his ass here. Come on to Boston. I will come get you from Logan Airport myself, Aaron Gordon, please.
Okay, so instead of Fournier, then I was gonna go to someone else in the Magic.
Not just one. We need both.
I like Terrence Ross. I love Terrence Ross, man. I think Terrence Ross would be a great player on this team. I think he'd be exactly what they need. He can come in and give you 12 points off the bench instantly. He shoots the 3 right at 36% clip. A little worse than Gordon, which I didn't fucking realize. Since when can Aaron Gordon shoot? Is that recent? Is that this year he developed that, or the past few years?
It's this year, and I'm here for it.
Okay.
I'm here for it. Yeah.
All right. So I'm not crazy then. He couldn't shoot before this year, though, right? This is like, I don't know.
He's gotten better. I mean, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but because I'd been doing the research, as Mike brought up to us having this idea before, I was just saying that he shoots 40%. Like that to me is a no brainer, and to me he's what. he's Blake Griffin 2.0, right? He could, obviously we know from slam dunk contests he could jump out the building, and this team lacks athleticism. Like they just do.
Agreed.
So they need a guy. They need a guy that can jump out the building outside of Rob Williams. Because can you imagine if those guys are at the rim and you're saying, okay, and then now you can spread out Tatum, Brown, whoever, and you're throwing the lob up to Rob Williams and Aaron Gordon. So now you can actually get points to the paint and not give up 80 like you did to Memphis on Monday night.
All right, yeah, you convinced me. You convinced me.
Yeah,
let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? So
let's
but I mean, I do like Terrence Ross would be good too. But I know Fournier is another wing. He's about 6'7", I think. Another one that can shoot. He's going to get you 15 to 16 a game as well. So between those two guys, that's 30 points there between them, right? But this team just needs to add as much talent as possible. So the starting five. Newsflash, Celtics fans, the starting five really wasn't a problem. It's the bench. The bench sucks. It blows. It's trash. Bastarda, whatever language you want to use, it's insane. So they need to add to the bench. I love Payton Pritchard. He's really the only viable option I can really think of off the bench. Teague is not the answer. I mean, like I said, obviously Time Lord, he's become really a staple of the team. So I love to see his progress. But, the rest of those guys, like, Neesmith doesn't play enough. Romeo Langford has as many minutes as I do this year. He's at 0. It's a joke. I'm trying to think who else, and Taco Fall. Okay. Dave, DK, I love you, big dog. I know you're going to be mad at me for saying this because I know you got mad at me in our group chat when I said this. Taco Fall is a sideshow right now. He's a sideshow. He's only in there when the Celtics are getting smacked or they're smacking someone else. So there's got to be something in the middle. Because even Bobby's boy, Brad Stevens gets on there. I forget what game it was. It had to be about 2 or 3 games ago when they was talking about kind of changing the pace. And he's like, yeah, we'll come to think of it now. I think I should have put Taco earlier. You fucking think? You think? And I don't even swear like that. So that's how I'm upset. I don't swear like that on the show. So I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You think that you should have put? Maybe I should have put him in the game. Yeah, because he's on a freaking team, Brad. What are we doing? The fact that he's sitting on a bench like me when games matter is a problem. Is a problem. Even on my 1 foot, I'm tripping somebody, I'm holding somebody, I'm doing something to make sure that we either win the game or be competitive, be smart, Brad. Like, be the guy that got you this job. But the problem is you've been a horseshoes coach ever since Butler, ever since Gordon Hayward missed those 2 shots back then. You come here, you're an almost doesn't count type of guy. That's the problem. You're all about horseshoes. I'm calling you horseshoes from now on. It's no longer Brad Stevens. Horseshoes is a almost horseshoes is a problem. Horseshoes has to go. I'm done. Yeah, get out. Yeah. I'm done. Horseshoes. Go back to Indiana. Go back to Bloomington. And be Bobby Knight Jr. Well, you never be Bobby Knight Jr. because you're not going to throw chairs.
He's not throwing any chairs.
You might throw some.
He might throw a chair so it lands under his struggling player's butt, so he can sit down lightly and take a nice seat on the bench, and he can tap him on the back and be like, "It's okay."
I know you got a 1.4 GPA, big guy, but you're going to turn it around tomorrow. You're going to turn it around.
Listen, you're our guy. You are our guy. Okay, he's our guy. Gosh. We ride or die with Kemba, baby. Ride or die with Kemba.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh,
so Ray, just remember your pressure points, dude. Woosah. Okay, like that was a lot. Now,
Goose Fraba.
Now,
I got some blood pressure pills in the back.
That was awesome. That was not a sponsor.
It's a joke.
Now, Bobby.
Yeah.
Ray just said a lot. A lot. And everything that he said, I believe, is fundamentally true. So I'm going to ask you this question. If they do pull off the move for Gordon, and even include the individual that you mentioned, it was 8 minutes ago, and it was I don't remember who it was. But if they do that, is that transformational enough of a move to bring them back to even where they were last year? Or would they just be making a trade to make a trade at this point?
So I feel like it could be. So the more I thought about it, and the more I looked up more about Aaron Gordon here, I loved Aaron Gordon coming out of college. And the thing is, if they do get him, they could go back to the defenses that we saw with the Celtics that made them so special, where anyone could switch on anyone. Anyone can cover anyone. There is no 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just 5 guys on the court. You cover who you can cover. And that's when the Celtics were at their best. You look back at the teams with last year with our run up into the Eastern Conference Finals, the year before, where literally every single person on the floor could switch to anyone, and it wasn't a defensive matchup, or it wasn't a defensive mismatch. And that's what Aaron Gordon would bring. I don't know if it would bring him to compete with the Nets, because the Nets, to me, are by far and away the best team.
Don't even worry about the Nets right now. The season ends today. You play Philadelphia. As it's currently constituted, do you beat them?
No.
Not even close. Not even close.
Not even close. Not even close.
Let's not even worry about the
Not even
Nets.
close.
But bringing these guys in doesn't. I don't even think bringing those guys in makes us beat the Sixers either. If Embiid is healthy.
You have
They
to.
have to.
You have
Yeah,
to do
they
something.
have.
You cannot punt on the season. You cannot be Jake Bailey in this moment.
I guess
we don't have. There's no all pros
It's
coming
like
in.
I said
You
a
cannot
couple
do
weeks
that.
ago. So we can't do this bullshit anymore. We
No, I
can't
know.
be fed
I-
the same shit night in, night out. Like, something's got to happen.
agree with you.
Whether it's Aaron Gordon, whether it's someone, something needs to change. Because I'm not watching this team on the floor anymore. I'm literally not watching them. So something's got to change.
I agree with you.
And then we played Milwaukee twice this week.
Oh,
On average, they probably would beat our ass by 20 at least each night. Take that for data.
the thing is, though,
they'll beat us by 20 at least both nights, Wednesday night and Friday. They're gonna beat our ass. It's gonna be out of control.
the thing is, though, is like, I don't know if they will. Because that's not the way the Celtics team rolls. Is when it comes to a team that's good, they play like the team that we think they can beat. But when it comes to shitty teams, that's when we see this bullshit. And they're so soft. They are the epitome of playing to your opponent, because we've seen them beat some of the better teams in the league, but we've also seen them lose to some pitiful basketball teams. So it's like,
Yeah, I'll be shocked. I'm sorry. I'll be shocked. To me, if the score is 114 to 102, like, I'll be happy, because that means they didn't get completely thrashed. It's a joke. Joe was laughing about it the other night with me when we was talking about. I said they'll lose by 20, and then Joe so subtly wrote, "Oh, they lost by 7." I'm like, "Well, thanks, Joe." But I feel so much better they lost by 7 points. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's a joke. It's a joke. Like, I no longer expect them to win a game. That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Like, so if they went 21-51, I wouldn't be shocked, because it's just like, I don't expect them. Like, this team, and they brought it up on the broadcast. Once again, we're not a part of that, but they want to hire us. Hey, we're available. If I actually believe that Scal, Gorman, not Forrest, because Forsberg is like the Bobby of that show. Forsberg really, he's so optimistic about the Celtics. Just like, dude, like, just write your articles and just say out the way. Like, they suck. Admit that they suck, Forsberg. It's okay. It's okay to say that they're trash. It's okay. But he's like, gotta stay the course, gotta do this. And you can't trade Marcus Smart. No, Chris Forsberg, you can. And I'm gonna write to you on Twitter again, like I did yesterday, about them being trash. And I'm gonna keep writing to you until they let go of Marcus Smart. I just had to get that off my chest. But yeah, man, listen, man, I don't expect this team to win any game. Like, I think teams really can. This is my point I want to say, because I forgot it that quickly. But teams are coming in. Like you said, I'm saying a lot, Mike. I'm talking a lot, but I'm back, baby.
I love it.
I've been out of it, but I'm back. So getting better than ever. But anyways, teams are coming into the fourth quarter, whether they're down 10 or up 10, and they're saying it's over. Think about what I just said, public that's listening to the show, as you're listening to this, to our wonderful voices. They're down 10 or up 10, and teams are saying it's over. We got this. That's insane. That's wild. That should never happen. That should never happen.
It's actually probably more likely that if the Celtics are up by 10 at the start of the fourth quarter, the opposing team feels better about the outcome of this game.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying it's either way. It's either way, and that's comical. That's sad. That's sad that a team could be down 10 or up 10, and just like, well, they're not going to play defense in the fourth. That's what Scout brought up during the broadcast. He said teams know they're not going to defend in the fourth. It's almost like, okay, well, cool. We entertained the fans for 3 quarters. All right, we could lose by 20 now. Like, I told someone the other night, I forget which game it was. I went to the bathroom. They was down 2. I went to the bathroom. I come out. They're down 105 to 96. I said, what? In a matter of 45 seconds? Are you kidding me? And I go to the bathroom. I grab water. I sit back down with my one leg. Y'all know I'm hobbling around right now still. And I'm like, I said, damn. I'm lost for words. I said, you were just down 1. You were just down 1. And it was like, all right, it's over. We quit. Like, this, it's a joke. It's on you, Horseshoes. It's your fault. Horseshoes, this is your fault, Horseshoes. You get there and you missed it by that much, just like that old commercial. You missed it by that much.
So I don't want to interrupt your audition reel, Ray, because this is fantastic. But my question as to why they make a move now. Here's my real question: do you trust Danny more in a trade in season or off season? Do you trust his ability to acquire talent during the season more or after the season's over? Because besides IT, he's never, ever, ever hit on a transformational. I guess that's a bad word to use. He's never hit an elite player midseason. So I don't know.
If anything, the deal he made backfired on him. The one big deal he's made since he's been here backfired on him with Jeff Green for Kendrick, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, right, exactly. That was bad too. Well, no, okay. I can't believe I'm about to defend Horseshoes 2.0 because he's also Horseshoes. Well, no, he won. He brought a championship here. No, sorry, he's not Horseshoes. So, no, he won here. But Danny saw the way the league was trending, and he said, okay, guys like Perk, they're not going to be around much longer. And he was right. But for the chemistry of that team, of that particular team that still won 56 games, because people forget that, they just think the season was over. That team still won 56 games in 2010, 2011. And then Dwayne Wade soft ass broke Rondo's arm and that ended the series. But once again, we'll talk about that on Bobby's championship rewrap at some point. So stay tuned for that. But it was unbelievable how that went. But he wasn't wrong. But like Mike said, it was the timing of it. Like it messed up the chemistry. But to this day, the best in-season trade he's had, well, really two. One was actually bringing back Antoine Walker. Yep. He did that. And then two, and I had his jersey back in the day, my guy, Ricky Davis.
I remember Ricky.
That was my guy. Love Ricky Davis. I mean, Tommy Heisey couldn't stand him, God rest his soul. But Ricky Davis was my guy. I loved Ricky. It's unfortunate that, he didn't do much here, but that was my guy.
A few correspondents on a competing network loved Ricky Davis, but that was my question. What I was telling you, what I was asking you was, so Danny has never really hit midseason. So now knowing that you have, I think you have a chance. We know that they're not going to go far in the playoffs, right? There's actually even a chance that they could really, really fall below the threshold to make the playoffs. So for me, what do you do? Do you wait and just say, listen, we're just gonna blow this whole thing up in the offseason when we can? When he has more time to do it? Or do you go and say, yeah, Aaron Gordon, come on in. And then because I think what the worst case scenario is you pull off a trade like that and you finish 37-35.
I mean, but that's still better than what we would have thought they were. Like, I'm thinking they're going to go. I'm thinking they go 21-51. So 37-35 would be phenomenal. And I know that sounds outlandish. I know that sounds crazy. And someone will listen to this and comment, say he's out of his mind. That's fine. Once again, we still thank you for listening. I don't think that you can't not, even if it's a smaller trade. Like I told y'all off the air about Norman Powell. Like even you get someone like Norman Powell. Like you have to do something, even if it's incremental. That IT trade back in 2015, that was an incremental trade because that team was kind of it was kind of up and down. They get IT, he comes off the bench the first few games, and then Brad inserts him to the starting lineup, and they take off, right? They get to the 7th seed. I mean, obviously they lost to Cleveland, but no one was beating Cleveland when Braun coming back there and Kyrie and Kevin Love. But that's what happened. So you have to do something. Like IT get that team a jolt. He has to find someone that's going to give this team a jolt. And maybe Aaron Gordon and Fournier, Aaron Gordon and Ross, you go get John Collins or you get a Norman Powell. Like you have to have someone that's going to say, okay, I'm playing like my life depending on it and not thinking that I arrived just because I made the conference finals throughout the last 4 years. Because that's how Jalen and Jason look at times. That's what's going on. That's the problem.
I think what I was going to say, and Bobby, I'll let you chime in here. Like that jolt that IT gave a team was a team with no expectations, with really no talent, that they got a guy that turned out to be a pretty bona fide superstar in Boston, right? Like IT, he had everything that he had it. And you should have really built around him. Right now, what you're doing is you have a team full of talent that's just heading in the wrong direction. So, does a mid-season jolt, Bobby? Does it change things?
Yeah, I mean, so it goes back to what me and Ray were saying on the last Celtics pod we did, where it's just right now. You have guys playing minutes that have no business playing the minutes and playing the significant roles that they're playing. Like the fact that we have Jeff Teague, Aaron Nesmith, Daniel Tice, and
I do love Tice this year.
Grant Williams playing significant real minutes on this team is absolute garbage. So I completely agree with Ray where it's like something has to happen to take those guys down into the proper pecking order. Even if it's just bringing in Norman Powell, which I like. knocks down the pecking order so that way you actually have guys playing in the 6th, 7th, and 8th spot in your depth that can actually make an impact on the game. Because right now, there's not a single person that comes off the Celtics bench that I'm happy about. There's not one person except for Peyton Pritchard. He's the only one.
Yeah, we know that.
Right. But see, listen, I made it this far without talking about him. That's how upset I am about this team right now. It's like even Peyton Pritchard isn't a light at the end of the tunnel for me anymore because this team is just because, and it's like Brad doesn't even fucking play him like he should. He plays Teague over him. He plays. It's just mind blowing to me what's happening. The guys that are getting the minutes that they're getting. So yes, something needs to happen. Whether it's a buyout, whether it's someone needs to come in here and be inserted into this rotation. Because right now, the way it's going, having guys that should be playing garbage time, playing when it's 98 to 97 in the fourth quarter, is not going to happen. It's not going to work. Grant Williams taking a shot with 4 minutes left in a game should never fucking happen in the NBA. Grant Williams should not, he should not be doing that. You know what I mean? Like, if Grant Williams spots up and there's under 5 minutes left, I'm turning the TV off. I'm like, fuck this. I'm out of here.
No, but it's about it. Bobby, calm down. Pressure points, big guy. Pressure points. We'll saw. It's about experience. That's all that matters. It's about experience.
Right. It's about experience. It's about
it's about experience. You know, the young guys have to play. They have to get better. You know, and they have to become one of Brad's guys. That's all it is.
I just can't.
They have to be part of the horseshoe crew. I know. I get it. You know, the horseshoe crew.
Like, to quote another mediocre coach that never won anything, you play to win the game, and they are not playing to win at all.
Oh, yeah. DK, when you listen to this, bring back the NFL show, because I'm ready for Mike's ass now. I'm ready for him. We haven't done that. We got to bring that back. But yeah. Yeah, but I love that quote though, because you do. You play to win. So you understand that, horseshoes? You play to win the game. You don't play to be up 97 to 96.
But he likes what they did tonight. He likes what they did.
Yeah.
I like what they did tonight. They showed some fire. They showed some spirit. We lost by 90.
Yeah, we lost by 6.
They showed some spirit.
Right. We lost by 90 points, but last week was 96. So, I think we're heading in the right direction. But hey, listen, keep giving us content, horseshoes. We appreciate you. You're no longer the boy wonder. You're no longer the guy I want at the helm.
You want him out.
I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm over it.
So my thing is, and I know it's.
Whoa.
I know. Craig's actually showing up.
Hold on.
I know Craig's actually here for a basketball show. So I feel like the NBA, like any other team, when you have players of the caliber that the Celtics have right now, when talks come up to like time to fire the coach, and they're like, all right. It seems like in Boston, can't fire Brad Stevens. Can't touch him. Touch him. Any other team in this league, they're like, all right, see, I don't even know who the head coach of the Lakers are. I don't know who the head coach of the Nets are. But it seems like,
you bet your ass if they had 2 All-Stars under the age of 25 and they were 21 and 22, you'd know their name because you'd read it on the 4-letter network that they were just terminated and future endeavored. They will not do it here. And my hot take of the day, although it might not be that hot of a take, Danny likes Brad because Brad lets Danny be Danny. I don't think Brad plays any part in trade negotiations or in any of that. Doc did. Danny did not like that. It got to a point where Doc wanted to Parcells. If you want him to cook the dinner, at least let him buy the groceries, right? Same shit. I don't think Brad Stevens has any interest in doing that. So it fits Danny Ainge's narrative right now. But they're losing, and it's not working anymore. And he lost the room.
You know who that sounds like? Sounds like the Dallas Cowboys to me. It sounds like Jason Garrett being the guy that he just sits there and says, yes, yes, yes. And guess that's why he's here. Craig, I couldn't agree. I don't think I've ever agreed with the basketball take you've had more in my entire life. Like that was so spot on, bro, because me and Ray were talking about this. But literally, we were talking about this a few days ago, man. I texted you, Ray, and was like, listen, if Brad gets to the end of the season and he gets... And this is what we have, right? This is how it goes the rest of the year, everything like that. In my opinion, I was texting him, like, he has to be gone, right?
To me, it just seems like, why is he this golden calf? If this is the Lakers, if this is Milwaukee, if this is the Nets, if this is the Lakers or something like that, Miami, even Eric Spoelstra down there. Who cares? It's the players you care about, not the coach.
Agree,
but here it seems like, can't touch Brad Stevens.
Brad Stevens, you can't. He's a basketball genius.
Sorry to jump on you here, Ray, but again, this happened a lot tonight. I apologize, but I think it's because he knows that if Danny Ainge, if Ainge decides to blow it all up, Brad can get a better response out of a team full of nobodies and make them watchable and likable and excel and develop them than he can with the team of all-stars. So it's really a win-win situation for Danny, except it's not right now, right? If he can blow it up, Brad's going to outcoach them. He's going to make them outperform their potential and their talent. But if he ever wants to win a championship, he needs either the whole league needs to collapse in a season where you do not have the talent to beat teams, or you need to remove Brad.
But you know what's crazy, and like we just spent however minutes going in, going off, especially yours truly. But wouldn't it be the most Celtics thing for them to be an 8th seed and do what the Knicks did in '99 and make the finals as the 8th seed? Wouldn't it just be that? It would be totally Celtic just to come in there. We have an Allen Houston type moment when he hits the game winner over Tim Hardaway back in the day, which that's one of the best series of all time. If you go back and if you have time, you can watch that. But like, it would be the most Celtics thing to be an 8th seed. Just fight there. You're fighting, and then you beat Philly as the 1 seed. I don't know who they would play in the second round, but then you beat that team, and then you find a way to get to the final. So that would be the most Celtics thing. I'd probably have no hair by then. But it's just like oh my God, it's unbelievable. So yeah, I mean, horseshoes, I don't know, man. Like I'm at my wit's end with you, horseshoes, but I'm hoping, I'm praying, I'm pleading, I'm begging, whatever word you want to put with that. I just need something to happen. Like not next week, not in 2 years, right now.
All right, gun to your head, Bobby. Do the Celtics make a deal at the deadline?
Yeah, I think they do. I know every year we hear these rumors, but I feel like this year is a little different where it's not just like, oh, they're interested. We're actually talking deals that are on the table and things like that for this team right now. I do think a move is coming. I actually was reading something saying that if the Celtics weren't interested in other players, Aaron Gordon would probably already be here. But the fact is that the Celtics do want to make other moves, so they're trying to get third teams involved. They're trying to do other things to add on to that. So I do think that something is coming. I don't know how much is going to help. I don't know if Brad is going to be the guy that can even get this team even with a move to that level. But yeah, a move's coming.
What you just said, that little snippet that you just said about the Celtics wanting to get a third team involved, is the exact reason why I do not think anything's going to happen. I think Danny, for some reason, he just doesn't want to deal with one other team. He wants, well, I'll trade with Orlando, and as long as Atlanta gets involved, and then they can get this and we can get that. Dude, if you want Aaron Gordon, just go fucking get him. Get him. That way, we're not reading Friday afternoon about all the reasons as to why this trade did not go through. I don't think they're going to trade. I think Friday afternoon, I hope I'm wrong. Please, if I am wrong, share this with all your friends and say, listen to this moron talk about basketball. But I have a sneaking suspicion Friday afternoon, the starting lineup for your Boston Celtics will very much resemble the starting lineup from.
I want to add on to Craig's point, because like I said, it really was profound. But I don't know, man. First, that golden calf thing, let's just make it plain and simple. Bill Belichick has won 6. And after him going to 79 last year, folks was at Gillette Stadium knocking on the door outside of Red Robin, and it's like, yo, you got to go. It's over. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, so if people are at Red Robin and at Patriot Place having the time of their lives and enjoying the Patriot experience at the Patriots Pro Shop, we thank you for coming into the Patriots Pro Shop. That's what's going on. People was outside with the pitchforks ready to get Bill out of there. So if Bill is not untouchable to folks, we think horseshoes is. Get it together, Celtics fans, immediately. Get it together, like now. Like if Bill was on the hot seat after going 7-9, because you let go of the greatest quarterback of all time, literally walk down to Tampa and he wins another Super Bowl. What makes y'all think that horseshoes is not untouchable? I don't understand that. So get it together. Horseshoes, like I said, I'm done with you. Like I said, you would no longer be known to me as Brad Stevens. Even though your initials do fit what's going on with the Celtics, it is a bunch of BS. But yeah, I'm here for it. Like I said, horseshoes, you got to go. I'm done. So
it's like you bring up the thing that they think horseshoes is untouchable. All this. They think everyone's untouchable. That's the
Right.
thing.
Oh, everybody.
It's like the Celtics need to make a trade,
but so
do not trade anyone.
We can't. I know
that snuck in. It snuck in a little for you though, Bobby. Earlier, you're like, well, I don't know if I would trade Marcus for that.
Well, he was saying for those guys, not necessarily. He was saying for those guys, not in general, just for those guys.
But hey, he convinced me. Listen, the more I look into Aaron Gordon, the more I'm into it now. I didn't think he could shoot. I really didn't think he could shoot. If Aaron Gordon can shoot, he is the kind of guy we need because he's athletic, he's big, he's strong, and if he can shoot the ball, that's a game changer right there. So yeah.
I mean, honestly, I still rather Vucevic, and we didn't bring his name up. Vucevic to me, that's my kind of guy. He's a little bigger than Gordon. Now, obviously, he's not as mobile as Gordon, but someone that's getting 24 and 10. He shoots well from the three. He rebounds really well. Like that, his spacing on the floor would help Jalen because you're bringing out. I mean, granted, you're not going to face a Rudy Gobert every type of night, but say if you're playing Philly, and now Embiid got a guard on the 3-point line. Now Tatum and Brown and Walker or whoever they have more driving lanes now, right? So to me, that's what you have to think about. You can't think about game 45 and like, well, if we trade for so-and-so right now, it may not be good. You got to think about if I make the playoffs and we face this particular team, can we create matchups that's going to work in our favor? Or you could go back to October and, one shout out to DK, I'll give you credit for this. You go back and you don't do the Tristan Thompson signing and you say, you know what? I'm just going to go get Miles Turner, who can block shots but also hit threes. So something's got to give here. Something's got to give. Well, we'll see what happens.
I mean, that'll do it. So thank you, everyone, for tuning into this episode of Celtic Pride. I mean, we had a really good time of time. It's just everything is just so happy.
Yeah, that's the title right there. That's good. Celtic Pride. Yeah.
Everything's just so happy here. So for Rayshawn Buchanan, the real BK Bob Kelly, Craig D'Alessandro, thank you all for listening to this edition of Missing the Point.
Hey there, I'm DC. I host the rock podcast, Back to the Arena, The Interviews. It's about a 30-minute podcast where I talk one-on-one with a band who has released new music. You can find us on all the best podcast sites like Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, and more. If you're a rock fan like me, subscribe today to Back to the Arena, The Interviews.
Electricast.
Introducing the Deep Leadership Podcast. Leadership is a people business. That's the philosophy of your podcast host, John Rennie. As a former submarine officer who spent 22 years leading businesses in corporate America before starting his own manufacturing business, he knows that leadership matters. Deep Leadership is real-world, actionable leadership advice from John and his expert guests. Become a leader worth following. Subscribe today.
Electricast.